guess I don't need this thing anymore. It's about. So, John, we're starting here.
Yes, don't leave, John, unless are you going to the bathroom or something? Okay, go ahead. I'm going to wait for you. Thanks for coming, Bob. It's good to have that.
I'll stay back here. It's easier to not
Okay.
try to maneuver.
Yeah, if you want to stay there, that's fine.
You're doing my chorus with me, right?
Yeah, I like the sound of that. I will. I'll join in with you.
Please join in with me.
And the words for the chorus are going to be up, so hopefully people will join us for that.
I wish they would join us.
Yeah.
I wish they would,
Yeah.
would join us for Love for Film.
I'm going to tell them to stand.
They want to.
Yeah.
If they want to dance. They want to go
Yeah.
say hi to their neighbor. I want people to
Neighbor.
around. You know.
Yes.
Interaction.
Raise the vibe.
Interaction.
Did we decide, because I saw you sent out your email, did you decide we're going to work on certain songs
Yes.
and do that quarterly and then we'll have one main new one every time?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will perfect some songs instead of adding new ones each. Okay. Good morning, Amani. Good to see you all. I'm having some fun with that gong, trying a few different spots on it. So welcome to the Amani Center. We're going to stand together and we're going to sing our opening song. And the words are up here for the chorus. We shall be free. So please join us and sing along. This ain't coming from no prophets, just an ordinary woman. When I close my eyes, I see the way this world shall be when we all walk hand in hand. When the last child cries for a crust of bread, when the last man dies for just words that he said, when there's shelter over the poorest head, we shall be free. When the last thing we notice is the color of skin, and the first thing we look for is the beauty within. When the skies and the oceans are clean again, well, we shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. Stand straight, walk proud, 'cause we shall be free. Free to love anyone we choose. When this world's big enough for all different views, when we all can worship from our own kind of pews, then we shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. Stand straight, walk proud, we shall be free. And when money talks for the very last Good job, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And it is now time for us to release the kids. So Marie is here to take them over to the ballet studio and do some fun activities. So you guys have a great time, and we will look forward to hearing what you did afterwards. All right. So welcome to the Amani Center. I am so grateful for all of you joining us today. We like to begin our service by reading our vision statement together, so please join me as we read this aloud. We are lighting the path to peace together. And so that's our vision, that's why we're here. We put that into everything we do here, walking together and lighting that path to peace for each other. This is a little bit about who we are. We're an open and inclusive spiritual community. We believe there are many paths to the divine. So whatever path you're on, you are welcome here, and we would love to walk it with you. We're a place to grow and to learn and to just be. We're a safe and welcoming space, so you can show up, you can sing, you can join in, and sometimes you can just fill your cup. Whatever reason you're here, you are welcome, and we're so glad you joined us. All right, is there anyone here for the first time today? All right, so if you're online and this is your first time, feel free to let us know who you are in the comments. We do have something we can send to you if you'd like to know more about us, and we're just grateful to have all of you here. So one of the ways that we light that path to peace together is our circle of light, which is made up of our practitioners and our ministers. And we are all here to pray with you, to pray for you, and to remind you of the truth of the incredible divinity that you are. So I'm going to ask everyone who's a member of the Circle of Light to raise their hand so that you can see who you can go to after service today if you would like treatment. So there's something weighing heavy on your heart. If there's something that you're really wanting to bring in, if there's just something on your mind that you would love to have some treatment, please reach out to one of us. Kathy will be sitting up here. You could just come up and sit right next to her, or you can find one of us, and we would love to do that treatment with you and for you. All right, so we'll take a few moments and go through our announcements. This is our last Sunday in September. The theme for September has been Falling into Grace, and we have the wonderful Reverend Sherry Wynne here to speak today. Yes. And then October begins next Sunday for us, and our theme is Divine Calling. And so here's our lineup. It's a 5-Sunday month. So we're going to kick it off with ministerial intern Lucian Baker, always a big favorite here at the Amani Center. And we have Reverend Pixie DeFore, Reverend Mitch Austin, Reverend Sherry Wynne, and then we're going to have ministerial intern Kathy Wilson speaking on the last Sunday. So it's going to be a great month. Show up and just get your cup filled. All right, today is Potluck Sunday, so please stay and have lunch with us. We got lots of food. We gather together and just have some time in community afterwards. And it's also our equinox ritual today. So after we have lunch, we will go out on the patio and we're going to do this wonderful change of season ritual. Everyone is welcome to stay for that. And then also on the 29th, which is coming up, we have our full moon, so that will be the final super moon of the year, and we do ritual here on the 29th beginning at 6 o'clock, so show up for that. It's really a wonderful way to honor the full moon and to honor yourself and do some work and have some shared time in community. And then we have our town hall meeting will be October 1st, so that will be next Sunday after service. So stay after and ask your questions, kind of find out what's going on, hear the latest, and just be part of this community. We are very collaborative here. We want to hear what you have to say. Okay, so that is it for the announcements. If you have not already, please silence your phone, and we will take a moment to bless the service. So if it feels comfortable to you, you can allow your eyes to close as we just get silent for a moment to really drop into this sacred space where we have come together today. We breathe in, feeling our connection to the divine, each and every one of us, and to each other. Breathing in this space of connection, I know that everybody who needs to be here, whether they're listening online or in the space, is right where they need to be and ready to hear exactly what they need to hear, feel what they need to feel, and be in this community fully and wholly. And I know today's service unfolds divinely, And I am so grateful for all the people who show up to make it so. Our musicians, our technology team, all of our volunteers, the people who help with the food today, the people who bring our equinox ritual, everyone who shows up as part of this divine community to do their part, and that is you as well. And so in great gratitude for the Amani Center, for this service, for each and every one of you, I release this word into the law, knowing that as I speak it, it is already done, and that all is truly well. And together we say, and so it is. All right, and I'm going to hand the mic over to our practitioner today, ministerial intern Kathy, and we'll do the affirmation.
All right, we do our affirmation 3 times. The first time with enthusiasm and joy. The second time, bring it into your heart. Really feel the words of this wonderful affirmation. Third time, please join with me quietly as I speak the words. Let us begin. I engage in a conscious dialogue in my heart and mind of appreciation. I accept grace as a welcome presence in my life every day. I engage in a conscious dialogue in my heart and mind of appreciation. I accept grace as a wonderful, welcome presence in my life every day. I engage in a conscious dialogue in my heart and mind of appreciation. I accept grace as a welcome presence in my life every day. This is brought to us by the wonderful Reverend Sherry Wynne. Together we say, and so it is.
Power in you, I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the child in you, I see the sweetness in you, I see the softness in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of a magic and power and sweet, sweet love. I see the goodness in you, I see the wisdom in you, I see the strength in you, and so it is. I see the joy that's in you, I see your light shining through, I see the love that's in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you, I see the courage in you, I see the heart that's in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, I see the power in you, I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, I see the beauty in you, I see the power
goodness in you.
And I see the goodness in you.
I see the goodness in you.
And I see the wisdom in you.
I see the wisdom in you.
Oh, I see your strength, your
I
strength.
see the strength in you.
And I see your joy, joy, joy.
I see the joy in you.
And I see your light shine, light shine.
I see the light in you.
And I feel the love that's in you.
I feel the love that's in you.
I see the grace in you.
I see the grace in you.
And I see the courage in you.
I see the courage in you.
And I see the heart in you.
I see the heart in you. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
Now it's time for our meditation. I invite you to get comfortable in your chair. Put your feet firmly on the earth. Clear your lap and relax. Let all the busyness of the morning go out of your head. Relaxing the shoulders, the torso, anything that feels tight in the body. Let it relax. It is time to go within and be conscious of that connection with your spirit. See yourself on a golden path, shimmering, filled with beautiful, beautiful colors, each color radiating with love, nurturing, and support. And bring to mind your question. What do you need to know today, right here, right now? Any problem is released. Any situation that is causing you doubt or fear disappears in this wonderful path that is shimmering in love and light and nurturing. Enjoy your meditation. It is now time for our meditation of divine healing. And so I encourage you to stay in this sacred space, knowing that we are absolutely surrounded in love and the healing energy of the most divine spirit, God, whatever you call it. It flows in, as, and through every cell, every organ, every body, joint, anything that is out of balance becomes harmonious with all parts and moves towards that perfect healing. I invite you to bring to mind anyone that could use and need and want physical, emotional, spiritual healing today and every day. It might be yourself or a friend. It might be a loved one that is far away. It could be your pet, your precious dog or cat, or bird, whatever. All animals also are called to be healed. And so, bring to your mind and heart anything, anyone, in any situation. And as you come out of this sacred and wonderful space, take with you what you have gained, knowing that we are the lights for each other and ourselves. And together we say, and so it is. Another wonderful song by one voice.
the wonderful Reverend Sherry Wynne.
Well, I just want to thank our One Voice. Want to thank Bob and John and Sonia and all of you. Thank you. So, here we are again. You've all showed up, and I'll tell you what, this has been, the last couple of weeks have been a challenge for me. And I was on the fence over and over. Am I going to ask somebody else to speak? Am I going to be able to do it? I had to back off from the choir for a bit. Over the years, when I do prayer, I've always been the bounce back girl. I do prayer, I get results. Well, it's not happened that way right now. And so my body is not functioning in the way that I'm used to. And I've decided that I'm not going to override it, which is one of the things that I was able to do to transcend it and keep going. Anybody know how to do that? Keep going until I just fell apart. And I've had a number of fall apart times, and I've said that. And there's been a nervousness about, will I be able to serve my community? Because this is a service. When we show up, we serve one another. There's no anybody that's more important than anybody. We all bring our gifts and our talents and our consciousness. We all make a decision to show up here. So there's something in you that wants to be with community, that wants to listen and hear and be open to, and sometimes just have a good hug. And that is how I feel about it. And so when I'm sitting here today being nurtured by the music, by Marcy and the way she presides, by the beautiful meditation and prayer, I feel so very blessed to be here, to be the recipient of that goodness. And so my topic this time was invitation for appreciation, because I wasn't feeling very appreciative. I'd wake up with this noise in my head about everything that wasn't. And it was like I had to do my work. And I kept thinking that it was going to go away, and it was going to go away, and it was going to get better. And I have a brief moments where it was. And I thought, wow, this is very, very interesting. So you know, I've told you my practice. I'm a little slow in the morning. I get up, I have my cup of coffee, I wander in, I sit on my couch, I brush my cat, we have a little communion. He's my feral cat, and then he's on his way. And then a lot of times, if I'm in a good place, he'll hang out with me and meditate with me. Well, he hasn't been spending a lot of time with me. He's sort of my tough master. Get yourself together and I'll come back and be with you. It's like my other animals were all cuddly, and he's like, puts his tail up and he wanders out. And then I'm like, okay, so you're on your own with this. So in this process for the last couple of weeks, I get up after the cat's gone and I'm ready to meditate. All I do is cry. And I cry, and I have my Kleenex box, and there's more Kleenex, and there's more Kleenex. And inside me, I'm going, what the heck is going on? But I just let it happen till it's done. And then I go into meditation. Sometimes meditation is easy. Sometimes it's a work. So I've been going back into listening to guided meditations, because there's lots of stuff going on. And so I set aside usually a couple days to get prepared to come to you. And I do a long day of quiet and contemplation and watching and being aware of what's going on with me and doing prayer work. And so the other day I thought, I looked at all these books and nothing was sparking me. I'm looking for something to kind of launch me into what is going to happen. And I just got quiet again, and it's like, go to Carolyn Meese, see what she has to say about grace. because grace and faith have been an interesting process of discovery for me, because they weren't so obvious as power and love and compassion. Those grace and faith for me were sort of nebulous and not real sure, and thought I should have it or know it or be it. So it's been a walk for me. And in the course of her conversation, I heard this. She said, I engage in a no, that's what I said. Okay, here's Carolyn Meese. I rely on this inner current to teach. I rely on this inner light and grace for me to do anything. And I thought, oh, she's talking my language. I, in the past, relied on my relationships, my friendships, my job, my church, my minister, all of those, till I got to a point where I really understood that those were just experiences I was having. And the relationship with the divine presence in me and cultivating in me was what I could really rely on. And it didn't always come out the way I thought it would be, but I began to discover that grace is available all the time, and it's always in motion, and it's bringing to us what we need for our highest spiritual evolution, for a deeper meaning in our own selves, for a deeper relationship with ourselves and other people. And so I sat down and wrote all this, and then I looked at it this morning and went, dang, you have anything to say? I guess. But what I was just pouring out my heart. I'm pouring out my heart to God. It's like, this is what's going on with me. This is what's happening. Am I really still going to be able to serve my community, or is it time for me to step down? Is it time for me to back up and go away? And what I get for me is being with you is so very, very good for me. And I want to be selfish and show up until you say, okay, Sherry, you're out of here. You know? I feel blessed being in your presence. I know that when I talk about things, you're not going to roll your eyes and walk out of the room or try and fix me. See, a lot of times when I share things with people, they want to fix me. They want to give me a plan. They want to give me, and so I've done that. In the course of this, I looked at medicine. I went to the doctors. I did all these different things, and it's like, whoa, you got way too much information about stuff you don't know is going to work or not. What can you do? Well, you can be still and quiet and find out how to be in a better relationship with yourself. And if you're sad that your body's not working and you can't do things and you can't sleep and you're hurt and you limp around, well, just be with that and embrace that. And I'm telling you, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not, we've been taught in this culture to be better than what we are. And there is something in that that's good to help us reach for a higher mark. But in that also is a way that we get trapped in I got trapped in the own prison of my own ideas about what I was supposed to be in order to be enough and lovable. And so this has been coursework about how do I find that place? How do I can do it for others and be very compassionate and kind, and then I can be kind of ruthless with the stuff that's going on in my head. So I've talked to you about this, but I'm going to say it again because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm a slow learner. And it takes degrees and degrees and time to be able to look back and go, oh, that's what that was about. Okay. So sometimes I get it in present time, but a lot of times what I'm learning, I have to have the patience and the willingness to just be undone, to not be my best self, to figure out what it is that wants to come and be with me. So 6 years ago, I literally stopped breathing. And I had my phone with me, and the first time I was enough conscious that I could get in my car and take myself to the hospital. And then the next night it happened. I thought, well, you're either going to call the paramedics or you call your son. So I called my son. He was right. He was a mile up the way, and he took me in to the hospital. And when I was there, I could feel myself moving out of my body. And I've had this experience 3 times prior to that, where I move myself out of my body and I'm going away. And inside, I'm like, oh, I'm going home. I'm going home. And so I feel all the stuff they're doing. They got masks on me, and they're giving me medicine, and then all of a sudden I'm way out there, and I feel on the left side of me someone a hold of my hand. And I became very aware of my my 6'4", 350-pound son he's just hysterically weeping. Mom, don't go, don't go. Mom, don't go. So in my soul, I heard, you're not done yet. And so I came back in. But my coming back in wasn't easy. For 15 days, my sisters came and I had one of these very female Barca loungers. It was very pretty. So I took it out of my bedroom, and I put it in my living room, and they made a bed out of it, and I couldn't lay down because so much of my lungs were just not working. And a couple of friends came, and they changed my bedding, and they brought me soup. But for 15 days, I did not sleep. I was in and out of consciousness, and in and out of consciousness. And it was a very interesting process to be out of my body and then in my body, and then out of my body and then in my body. And then I kept coming, and then at some point, things started to work. It was like, oh, I could go to my bed and kind of lay down up. And then over a course of time, I felt like, oh, you're back in your body and you're doing things again. And so even though that happened, I wasn't aware of, till I totally came back into my body, a couple of things that have not changed since then. And one was, the biggest one, was there was no future. When I looked to the future, it was the void, a blank canvas. And I couldn't make a future. Now, in my past, I had a future. I was going here, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was gonna have this going on, and it's still that way. It's a blank canvas. And the only thing I have going for me is now, and now, and now. And I'll tell you what, for that little Virgo, over-industrious, do-it-right, and service girl, that is not a fun thing. That's been an interesting process for me to go, I talk with people and we talk, we're going to go here and we're going to go there. But there's this part of me that knows all I've got is now. And there isn't anything else going on. And being by myself in again, a body that's not working has been difficult. And my empathic nature has gotten so big that it's like, holy moly. There's way too much going on. I don't want to know that. Shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. So as this process has been revealing itself to me, what I understand for myself, and I think it might be happening everywhere, is this. What I believe is happening is a speeded up process of dying to the old. Divesting old patterns, cultural beliefs, wounds. Everything about the material world is giving way to a new way of being. Pure energy and pure connection with the unity of life. That is the current download that I'm receiving, and I trust that truth, that no roadmap other than me following the presence and its grace as it makes itself known. I believe that as a spiritual being in this reality now, in this nuclear age, that is what is happening. And I believe that is we have come at a very difficult time to birth into this nuclear age. And it's a learn as you go process. You can read 1 million books, you can talk to 1 billion people, And it can spark some interest or a way, but the reality is each of us has to find a way into our inner relationship with the energy of life that is all around us. And now NASA has evidence that we're in a unitive field. Think about 100 years ago, a lot of words that we use were not even available. Consciousness, energy, standing up for yourself, being powerful, having a voice, all those things were not even current. So in a very short time, even the language in which we have with our world has shifted dramatically. And it's speeded up, and it's not going to slow down. And it's going to cause us all, if we're willing to surrender our old ways of being without knowledge of what's next. And having a faith and trust that we'll be taken care of. And not everyone wants to talk about that. And not everyone is willing to look at that. In fact, there is a lot that's going on that wants to keep it the way it has always been. And it's not going to. It's going to speed up, and there's going to be more interesting things in our lives, in our bodies. We're going to feel things more deeply. We're not going to be sure about what it is we're even feeling. Was that my feeling or somebody else's? We're going to have deep awakenings where we go, oh, this has been going along for a long time in me, and it's my turn to lay it down. You know, all the great avatars, mystics, Christed beings, saints, sages, you can go anywhere to any religion and any practice and find truth. It's not unavailable. What doesn't work is when people say, this is the only way it is. We know that now. We know that in our sexual revolution, in gender identity, in conversation, in our virtual reality, everything that we have known to be real and substantial is going away. It's being replaced. Now, see, when we say it's going away, that instinctual humanity is like, oh, what the oh my God, oh my God. It's like you open up the internet and it's like, oh my God, another tornado, another earthquake, another fires, and more this and more that, and then I have to go, oh, I can't. There's just so much that as a soul I can take in until I reach overwhelm. And when I reach overwhelm, then I'm not able to connect to my divine self. Sometimes I'm sent out, I'm like, go be with your community. I asked all week, it's like, go, just be vulnerable, be transparent, tell your truth. That's all you got. And they're going to make of it whatever they make up of it. And they're going to either like it or not. They're either going to be confused by it or they're not. But I believe that we're in this together, and so as we come together in community more and more, and we're willing to be transparent, to just tell it like it is. It's like, I was trained to be a good, perfect girl and to serve everybody. My sisters, my family, my parents, my sons, my husband, the world, and I was to do it well. And I was not to complain. And if I had any problems, I was to go be by myself until I was a better girl or a better wife or a better friend. So what's happening is that old belief is dying away. And it's like as these beliefs and things die away, a lot of these identities that we have said, this is who I am, go away. We have to trust that that is just what it is. Old identities that aren't real. We're being asked to know that we are the light. We are the love. We are what we are reaching for. And here's what I always also know. When I let myself go through my own process of dying to the old, and I keep showing up and having a conversation with my inner self, whether it's listening, whether it's reading, whether it's praying, whether it's being with others. When I do this and I seek the way to be connected again, I don't have to go anywhere to get what I need. It shows up in my world, through my phone, through my friends, through texting, through people coming to me. And I've known this intellectually for a long time as a mentor, a minister, and a practitioner, but I'm really getting it now. Because I'm not in a body anymore that can go out and get it. I used to go out and find it and get it and be in it. And my world has become very small. And so I really know that whatever I need, whenever I need it, regardless of the circumstances, and in perfect order and harmony and timing, shows up for me. Even the hard lessons, the hard walk, the dismantling. So I want you to take a moment now because, you know, we come into this community and you sit and you listen and you pray and you clap and you sing and we have our food together. But how often do you take a moment to really see each other? I mean, really be able to look each other in the eye and go, I'm so glad you're alive. What a blessing you are to me to be here in this time and place. And I want you to get up and go, not to your old familiar person that you know so well, but to somebody maybe that you haven't let get close. And I invite those who are nervous about it to be in your nervousness, open your hearts out, and I want you to look at one another, you know, hold each other's hand, look in the eyes of the other, and say what it is that your inner heart says. And in that way, receive it. Go now, do it. Okay, dear ones, come back. Come back. Bring your lovely hearts with you. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How wonderful that after today we can sit and share in this beautiful communal way with one another. And I think it's important to get a little vulnerable sometimes with each other and not be about the busy talking, but the revelation of sharing, maybe our tender selves in ways that aren't easy and seem awkward. And there's a tendency to want to go into telling what we're going to do, where we're going to go, what we've been after. And I just encourage you today, after we finish up the service, if any of you want spiritual mind treatment while the food is getting set out, or please call upon us. And to just give yourself permission to be with one another in a way that you really get to feel seen. You really get to feel seen and heard and loved. And another thing that's very important for a lot of us is touching one another. There's a communion in holding hands and touching each other and being in that place where we can, be in union with one another. Because what else do we have? When the moment comes when we slip out of this mortality, all the things that we have strived to make and have and all of this and all of that we are challenged to be with, they're gone. It's just a ride. It's like we've heard it. It's a play. It's a dance. It's an experience. And in this vehicle, we're learning what is the nature of emotions. What's the quality of our emotions? What's the nature of feeling, our spirit? What's the nature of our intellectual self? What is the nature of our physical self? And what is the nature of the soul self or the spirit? And are we willing to put in the time and the effort to get past the old dying self? Because it's going to be noisy. It's noisy all around us. And when we have an opportunity to come together in community like this, or on your very worst day, you call a friend and go, "Help me, I am drowning." When you get past the pride of, I can't go out in public because I didn't take a shower today and I haven't done my hair and, and I'm not at my best, and then you show up in your real self. What I've discovered is that is the quickest path for communion with somebody else, when the old self is out of the way. When the humble, quiet, soft self is able to just stand in the midst of everything that's going on and trust that there's a way to connect with one another. Don't you know it's a challenge when you go to the store and the teenagers walk right over you? I mean, literally. They walk right over me, and I'm like, I am so invisible to them. I am so invisible to so many people. And in the past, I would have been about, "Hey, young man, didn't your mother treat you? Here I am." And sometimes that's the voice that you want to have. But I have to check myself. Is that my ego voice that's hurt at not being seen? Or is that, "Excuse me, did you not notice me? I bet you got something going on with you today, but hey, I'm here." So when I check into my spiritual self, then I'm given the information about what to do. And right now, I'm to be pretty silent and learn to listen well. And when I'm learned to listen well, I am listening to what's going on inside of me. I'm listening to the beautiful sounds of my community around me, even the noisy and brash sounds that are going on, even the angry sounds that are going on, the beautiful sounds, the laughter, they're all the tapestry of the divine in play. And when we separate ourselves and look at that out there that is so violent, and we say that's not the divine in play, it is the divine covered up, buried in pain and fear and suffering. And it's like, can I just have a moment here, and do I have the tenacity in me or the way and means to find the light in them and to send a prayer for them? And I send a prayer for them. They may not pick it up this lifetime, but when they're ready, they'll pick it up. Because every prayer that's prayed, every voice of goodwill that's been done, every charge of goodness that we have put out is in the field. And when those are ready to have it, then it's there for them. So I think it's time to let my peace go. And I want us to be in that place of eternal gratitude for the very precious life that we are living. And now, let's bring up the kids.
All right, oh, we got kids. All right, well, we'll do kids, and then we'll do the joyful time of giving. If you guys are ready, that's okay. Hey, we're loose. That's okay.
This
We're
little
loose
light
and
of
flexible
mine,
here.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All right, Marie, here's the mic. You can tell us about what y'all did.
What we did today is I read, "All I see is a part of me." And then we were trying to decide on craft activities, but I didn't find the tools to do it with. So anyways, we just had a good time together. Just dancing around. It was fun.
All right, good job, guys. Thank you, Marie. All right, you guys can go back to your folks. All right, so we're going to take a moment now for our joyful time of giving. And so this is our opportunity to support this center, the Amani Center, however you give your support. There are some cards that are in the seat backs of those white ones that have, that have a little code on there. Okay, I've got too much up here. I can't find it. It looks like this, but it's not this. And it has the code that you can scan with your phone if you want, or you can try scanning that one. You can set up recurring donation with your bank. There's always a donate button in everything we send you. We try to make it as easy as possible so that you can help support this community however you're able to, so we can keep doing this good work. And so while you get your gifts out, I'm going to hand it over to Kathy so that she can do a little treatment over that.
Okay, so there's an energy. There's a love. There is the giving and taking. All is good in this universe, and it is filled, absolutely overflowing with abundance and prosperity. And so I invite you to take your tithes and offerings, put them next to your heart, and know absolutely that you are making a difference in the life of Amani, in this fellowship, in this community. And be grateful and filled with love and gratitude. And so I release this word into the universal law, knowing it is so, it is done, and together we say, and so it is.
Ready? Give from your heart, give from your soul. Love made you whole. Hey, yeah, hey, yo. Hey, yeah, hey, yo. Give from your heart, give from your soul, give from your soul. Dance and be joyful. Love made you whole. Hey, yeah, hey, yo. Hey, yeah, hey, yo. Hey, yeah, hey, yo. Hey, yeah, hey, yo.
We are so blessed here at Amani, Cameron Park, California. And I accept these tithes and offerings, knowing that they come from the heart. They come from our very souls to keep the business and the spirituality of the Amani Center alive, awake, and aware in this community and outside. Thank you, and together we say, and so it is.
Okay. Yes, presence is here. So let's stand together, hold hands if it's comfortable for you, and let's sing together. The words are up on the screen.
The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. I will meet you in grace.
And be about celebrating the precious life that you are. Drop the masks and just be your real, beautiful selves.
Remember, we have potluck today, and also we're going to be doing the equinox about 12:30, if you can stay for that. And anyone who's able to help stack chairs, we're going to put all the chairs up here on the stage. So.
Is there anyone out there trying to sleep? Anyone out there as lonely as me? know what you're thinking. I know how you feel. Laying in the dark, you're looking for color.